Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today we're going to collect one of my all-time favourite cheap cars, the Mazda MX-5. More specifically, it's a 2003 Mark 2.5 MX-5. I've had a fair few of these in my time and they're just really good cars. They're really good fun. Yes, there are faster cars out there and prettier cars, of course, but for the money, I just don't think you can beat the MX-5. For me, the MX-5 is just good, honest fun on a budget. Now, interestingly, the prices of Mark 2.5 MX-5s are on the rise. A few years ago, if you had £1,000 to spend, you had the choice of many, but that's not the case anymore. If you have a look on Auto Trader, if you want a nice, clean example, you'll be looking at around £3,000, so they're not cheap anymore, and I think prices will continue to rise. The one we're going to look at now, I haven't actually seen in person yet. I've seen photographs of it, but I've never seen it in person. And I bought it on eBay for £1,600 a few days ago. My dad went up to collect it, my new recovery truck, which has made collecting cars, well, a bit too easy actually. Anyway, he said it was very tidy. He said the roof's a bit tatty, but apart from that, the bodywork's really clean. When I was chatting with the seller on eBay, it turns out he's a viewer of the channel, so I'll make sure I do right by this car. I'm thinking straight away it's going to need a service, an MOT, I'll get the underside wax oiled, and then I need to find somewhere, some sort of roof specialist somewhere, and get a new roof fitted. I don't want to start patching the roof up because it'll just look like a dog's dinner. Now, before I bought this car, I did a thorough vehicle history check using carVertical, and I always preach this. If you think about buying a used car or motorbike, you really must check it out thoroughly first. There are lots of dodgy cars out there and you just don't want to end up buying one of them. Now, it doesn't take long, this report, and this week it's even cheaper than usual. They've got a Cyber Monday offer on, so if you use the promo code CM, that's CM, Cyber Monday, you'll save yourself 30% off at each and every check that you do. It's really easy to use as well. Let me show you how it works. All you do is go to carvertical.com, type in the reg or the VIN. Now, by the way, it works in 35 different countries, this, so it isn't just a UK thing. Click check vehicle, and then a couple of minutes later, you get a full, thorough, detailed report. Now, as we can see with the MX-5, it's never been stolen, there's no outstanding finance, it's never had a mileage rollback, and it's never been involved in a recorded accident, so we're all clear on all four fronts. If we scroll down a bit further, you can see that mileage is consistent every single year, so it hasn't done that many miles really. For a 21-year-old car, it's only done less than 100,000 miles. It is quite low. Then at the bottom, you can scroll down to the MOT history. So like I said, what I'll do with this is give it a full service and a nice clean MOT. Right, anyway, thanks carVertical for sponsoring today's video. Let's go and have a look at this MX-5. I'll see you there. Right, well, here we go then. This is my 2003 Mazda MX-5 Mark 2.5. And it looks exactly as it looked in the advert, actually. Excuse the noise, we're on a building site at the moment. But it's in brilliant silver. Now, the advert said there was a little bit of bubbling on some of the arches. Of course, there is a little bit there, isn't there? Will this focus? Yeah, there we go. A little bit of bubbling there, which I'm sure we can fix. Now, in terms of tyres, the brakes look okay. The brake discs look in decent condition. The tyre is a Harmony Aptani on about 4mm of tread. The wheels look okay. Didn't think I'll get those done actually. They look all right. And then on the back we've got a Sumitomo on about 4mm. That's all right. The back wheel arch looks fine. That's not rotten. That's all pretty good actually. No rust there. And although it has had paint, I can tell it has had paint. I mean, it's an old car now. It does look quite tidy. Even that front wheel arch isn't too bad. But yeah, the roof's in a bit of a poor state. So it's been patched up there, which doesn't look the best, does it? It isn't even making contact there. Sort of too high. That might need, those roof latches actually often fail, so it might just need some new roof latches. Around the back, you know what, it's actually quite tidy this. There are a couple of little marks here, but on a 21-year-old car, it's not too bad really. I could get that repainted, but I don't know whether it's worth it. Now, these always suffer with rusty boot lids as well. I'll show you what I mean when I open it up. Looks okay from the outside. Move around this side. Have we got a matching tyre? No. So we've got 3 odd tyres so far, and that feels like it's right on the limiter. So that's going to need to be replaced. There's a little bit of bubbling here, as you can just see, around this wheel arch. This is the shame with Mazda MX-5s, because they just always rust. They need to be garaged, really, to try and prevent this. But I mean, I suppose that's not too bad. It's not too bad, really. It wouldn't be worth going mad with this car, because it just wouldn't be worth it. I think the best thing to do is get it looking as tidy as I possibly can, and then move it on. Have we got 4 odd tyres? Yes, we do. This one's a Rodex. A Rodex on about 4mm. So 3 of the tyres are decent-ish. That one's a bit poor, so I'll get that one replaced. This wheel arch, again, it's not too bad. It's been repaired previously, but you can just see just starting to blister. It isn't the worst thing ever, that, really. I think for 1,600 quid, bear in mind, like I said, the prices are on the rise. That's not bad at all. No, that looks okay, you know. That needs tightening up, the number plate plinth. I could perhaps spray the wiper arms black again. But no, that's not too bad, really. It's not too bad. Right, let's open her up then, have a look. So of course we've got a glass rear window there, not plastic. How do we get in the boot then? Right. There's no weight to that at all. Well, you know, I said that they always rust around the tailgate. That isn't the worst one I've ever seen. That's not bad at all, really. If that could just be tidied up, do with a wire brush and touched in, that's not too bad. We've got the tonneau cover there. It's unusual to still have that there, actually. Then under here, what's the boot floor like? Well, that's pretty good. So again, this is another weak spot. But apart from a little bit of rust down the side there near the seam, that's not bad at all. We'll move that out of the way before it starts rattling. No, this isn't the worst thing I've ever bought. Okay then. Right. Let's have a look inside then. They're tiny, these cars. I forget every time I buy one. So inside is quite damp. I mean, it's no surprise, is it? Look at the gap around the roof. No wonder it's letting water in. We've got water droplets near the gear lever, a little bit of mould on the steering wheel. This is actually, I'm quite glad I found this because it's come to the right place. Bit of wear there on the driver's seat. Maybe I could get that repaired, or perhaps just look for a new seat off eBay. A little bit of rust there on the inside the arch there. Yeah, we are going to need a new roof, aren't we? Definitely. Just now, yep, there we go. My jeans are wet. Lovely stuff. So I can see daylight through the roof on that side, but on that side it's fine. So these clamps, I think, yeah, this one's just not working. So it's just not making a connection at all. Now, if the roof were in better condition, I could just replace the bracket there, the clamp, but it needs to be replaced. I'm pretty sure, now I had this on an MR2 a few years ago. I think I did a video with it actually. I got a new roof for about 600 quid, but I'm pretty sure with the MX-5, they're even cheaper than that. I would expect sort of £300 or £400 to get me a brand new roof. What can I show you inside then? Let's try and fire her up, shall we? So it's done 95,000 miles. Radio works. Cigarette lighters have been used. We've got 2 cup holders, locking wheel nuts. Got a rag there, and some kitchen roll. Quite handy actually. So that's how you open the fuel door and the boot. Well, the back of it's dry. Oh, saying that, there's another rip there. See the daylight through the roof. Yeah, we need a new roof, don't we? Definitely. Just wipe the mould off my steering wheel. It's all in quite good condition though, apart from the roof. The actual buttons and switches and stuff are all in good order. Turn this off before I get a flat battery. Now in terms of service history, we've got the logbook there. So yeah, hi Connor, if you're watching. There's an invoice here for a MX-5 specialist. It's had some sort of gasket replaced. This, bear in mind, is the 1.6. They do a 1.6 and a 1.8. This is a 1.6, which is a bit more insurable. It's down on power, but it'll still be quite good fun, I imagine. At 90,000 miles, it had a service and an MOT. At 88, had brake calipers, all sorts of stuff. So it does have some history, although it's not full. Invoice there for a service, another one. Oh, it's come from Cumbria, this. Right. So there is quite a bit of history there, and I've got another folder here full of even more. This is what I like to see. So we've got the current MOT test runs out in January, so a few months left on that, so I'll have to get that done. It failed previously on various things. That's obviously had that done. There's an advisory item here for the sill, but that was a few years ago, so I'm hoping that's been done. Like I said, they just rust terribly, so I'm hoping that we haven't got any rust issues. I'm hoping a fresh service and a clean MOT and some wax oil keep this little MX-5 on the road for a few more years to come. I think then really we need to get this fired up, don't we? Get some heat on because it's quite a cold day. There we go. A little bit of a belt squeal there. Only faint, but engine sounds sweet though. Quite like these climate dials. They're a little bit like a Mercedes A-Class. I just like how simple these cars are. There's nothing really to go wrong with them, apart from the roof, obviously. Have we got any CD? Oh, we do. We've got a CD, right? Hardwick Circus. Don't know who that is. Should we find out? Will it work? Oh, there we go. Works. Now, it sounds like my speaker's only... Yeah, we've only got sound coming from the passenger side. Driver's side speaker's not working. We can have a look at that, can't we? That's about it then. I think we need to get this on the road, don't we? See how it drives. Right, well, we're in the little MX-5. Already getting rained on here. Yeah, it's coming through. Got loads of drips here on my coat already. What a child. See what I mean about them being good fun though? Saying that rear tyre's that bald. I think anyone could have wheel spun that. Yeah, we're getting very wet here, guys. Drives well. Yeah. A lot of wind coming through the roof, which is in the closed position, which isn't quite right. In fact, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull over somewhere and we'll get this roof down. It's stopped raining for 2 minutes, doesn't it? So why not? And that rattle's giving me a headache. It's nice through the gears though. It's only a 5-speed manual. I don't know whether they did a 6. I'm not sure whether the 1.8 was a 6-speed or not. But it drives well. Quite pleased so far. Right. Let's lower this roof. So pull that there. Oh yeah, that's not even on. Same with this side. Okay. And then now we're talking. Much better. Well, that's just improved everything, hasn't it? Yeah, there's definitely a fan belt squeal there. That's not quite right. I think though, I think I can save this car. I think I can turn it round just in the nick of time. Forget the poor state of the roof and the few little rust bubbles. It's actually quite a nice thing, this. This isn't the best day for driving an MX-5, I must admit. But it really does drive well. It's nice and solid. Doesn't knock when you go over bumps. Steering feels nice. And this gearbox, the manual gearbox in an MX-5 is just the best. You get nice, short, slick throws between the gears. The gear lever itself is nice and short. Everything's just really snappy and precise. Get rid of my little magic tree as well. I don't think I've got an awful lot to do to this car then, really. Now, bear in mind I paid £1,600 for it. I think if I give myself a budget of maybe, what should we spend on it? Let's say £800. So if I can spend £800 on this, it'll owe me £2,400. Need a set of wiper blades as well. We'll add those to the list. It'll owe me £2,400, and I think I could get £2,995 for it. I think if I prepared this nicely and got it parked in my showroom with its new roof down, I think it'd look all right. It's got to be worth £3 of anyone's money, hasn't it, this? Just hope I don't overspend. I think £800 I think is quite healthy. £250 at my mechanics, maybe £350 on a roof, a valet, a few little odds and ends, and we're pretty much there. It's solid over the bumps. Shockers feel all right, it's not too bouncy or loose. mean, bear in mind, this is a 21-year-old car. This is exactly what I mean about them being great fun. For £1,600. I mean, what else can you buy for this sort of money that does this as well as this does? Right, I'm going to take this down to my mechanics then and ask them to crack on with the work. So, service, MOT. I know I'm rambling now, but I'm just trying to get the list in my head. In fact, I might stop by work first to make a job list for it. Wiper blades, fan belt squeal, wax oil. Quite a long list. Give me a couple of weeks then. Give me a couple of weeks and I'll hopefully have a nice presentable MX-5 for you. See you in a bit. And we're back in my cheap Mazda MX-5, which is not only prepared, but it's also sold. I'm hoping for a profit as well. I haven't actually worked out my figures yet, but I'm thinking there's probably a few £100 profit here for me. So all in all, I think it was a worthwhile exercise. After we last spoke, I booked this in at my mechanics for a service, an MOT and a new tyre. A couple of days later, it was all ready to collect, and it didn't need an awful lot of work. It needed a little bit of welding to get through its MOT, but nothing major. The sills were fine, which is always a concern with MX-5s. So yeah, it passed its MOT with not a single advisory item. After that, my next job was the roof. If you remember, the roof didn't fit here, it didn't even make contact. You could see daylight through it, which of course meant it let water in, so my seat was a bit damp. Anyway, I found a convertible roof specialist in Stockport, so I booked it in with them. I had to wait 2 or 3 weeks for the appointment, but when I dropped it off, it was turned around the very next day. This is the thing I always preach, you're always better off taking your car to a specialist. Yes, it might cost a little bit more and you might have to wait longer for the appointment, but they'll be able to diagnose the issue straight away. And chances are, because they know the car inside out, because they do them all day long, it won't actually take them as long to fix the problem as it would your regular garage who might not have the same experience on that particular car. So it does make sense. My bill there for a brand new roof was 500 quid, which I thought was really reasonable, to be honest. They also replaced these brackets because one had broken. And I'm really pleased with the outcome. The new roof really makes it look the part. After that, I took it to Tameside Detailing for a full valet. Like I said, the seats were a bit damp, so they've dried those out and cleaned them all. And it's a really nice, clean example now. I was contemplating getting some paintwork done on this and perhaps the wheels refurbished, but I thought I'd better be sensible. At that point, I'd already spent £500 on a new roof and 300 and something pounds getting it through its MOT. So I thought if I spend another £800, maybe £1,000 getting the paintwork done on the wheels, I'll never recoup it. So I thought, no, on this occasion I'll be sensible. I won't bother doing the paintwork. This is never going to be a show winner. It's just a decent, usable example. So I'll do the necessary jobs, but I'll leave the rest. And that's what I've done. And I'm quite happy with the outcome, really. What I did next was a bit unusual. I got this back to work and I didn't even have a chance to photograph it because we got a phone call on it straight away. Now, the day before, when I knew it was nearly done, I made an advert for it and advertised it at 2,495, which is probably a little bit cheap, to be honest. But like I say, it isn't the best example I've ever seen. So I thought I won't be too greedy. I'll just try and get my £2,500 back for it. I think there'll be a few £100 profit in it at that, and move it on. Hopefully find a new home for it. He'll continue to look after it. That was my plan. Anyway, we got a phone call on it straight away. The guy came over and bought it. I explained that I still needed to finish a video with it. He was quite happy to wait for a day or two until that was done. And yeah, that's it. So right now we're going to go through my costs. Now, if you remember, I think I paid £1,600 for the car. Right, the bill at my mechanics then. Let me get my bill out. So it's had an oil filter, no oil, some steel for the welding, that was £30, various welding repairs, one tyre, some labour, and an MOT test fee. So my total was £345.40. So 345, 40. I treated it to a new set of number plates. They cost me £15. The valet at Tameside Detailing cost me £70, and the new roof cost me £500. Oh, okay. Right, I thought, in my head when I was trying to kind of work this out roughly, I thought, well, there's still a couple £100 profit there for me. Turns out I was wrong. This car actually owes me £2,530.40, and I've sold it for £2,495, which of course means I've made a loss of £35. But I know this sounds a little bit silly and naive, but I'm quite glad that I've kept this car on the road for another 12 months. It's now got 12 months MOT with no advisory items, somebody's got a half decent usable MX-5, and yeah, hopefully somebody can have some fun with it. A £35 loss in the grand scheme of things is neither here nor there, really, is it? Must tell my accountant that. Right, so on that slightly unusual note, thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. And yeah, I'm going to head back to the garage now and try not to crash this because it's a sold car. I always hate driving a sold car. I just think it brings bad luck. So yeah, right, cheers guys. I'll see you next time.